I'm going to show you how to read anyone's mind easily and instantly, making you seem like an incredible mind reader. This trick is easy, can be done anytime, anywhere, and it is basically self-working. It uses any website, no apps, and is a complete modern book test that can be done on the spectator's phone. Let's take a quick look at the performance of the AnyWeb book test.
I have all my contacts. The brilliant thing about this is you don't know any of these people, right? Okay, so scroll like this. You can just scroll freely up and down, right? Do it. It changes every time, right? So that means if I hold it like face down and you go to scroll, it'll just end up on a random one. You're good, you're happy? I'm gonna lock it. So name a number between 1 and 10. Yeah. 5. I want you to count 5 names down from where you stop. Okay, you got it? Do you want to go one more? Okay, go one more. So that's your name. Remember that name. You got it? Okay, so you won't forget your name. I'm just going to try to see what I pick up on this name. Remember, you stop wherever you want. You pick the number. This is a short name. Short name. Short name, I'm thinking only 3 letters. 3 letters, male name. Daisy, what was your name? Yeah? I initially went for Tim, but then I changed it to Tom.
Tim was the first one too! Insane! That is crazy. Oh my god!
What is good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you an incredible piece of mentalism, really a utility move, a utility device in mentalism, which is something super unique. I'm going to be teaching you what I call the AnyWeb book test. It is a modern day book test using the spectator's phone. Now, if you'd like to learn hard-hitting, powerful mentalism like this, you can learn that right here at the channel. Go visit my mentalism membership. You can join right here or at the link in the description. I have tons of effects that are just like this and even better there. And if you think this is good, some of the effects on there will absolutely blow you away. And if you'd like help with any mentalism, including propless mentalism, I've done a ton of private lessons on propless mentalism. You can check out some private lessons at the link in the description. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So guys, the AnyWeb book test is an absolutely unique and killer piece of mentalism using a unique little principle that you can use on any website at any time on anyone's phone. There's so many different ideas with this, and I'm gonna share just a handful of them with you here. But let your imagination run absolutely wild. So, the method for the AnyWeb book test is using a method which I have dubbed in the past called the contacts force. Now, this force is a simple scroll force that is often used in someone's contact app to force a name. Now, this can be adapted into a beautiful presentation that can use absolutely any website. There's a ton of different ways you can present this, but one of my favorite ways is to invite the spectator to open up one of their favorite websites. Now, you do want to have a website that has a lot of scrolling available, I would say, so it's not just like a short web page. So you can let them go to their favorite website, and if it doesn't really work, you can try navigating them to a different website. Now, news websites work really good for this. Things like Amazon or different stores that you can just scroll on, Netflix, even scrolling a Facebook feed or an Instagram feed. All of those things are great. Now, essentially, what this method's going to allow you to do is force a position. So you can force them to stop scrolling anywhere you want with absolutely no apps. So again, if one of their favorite websites isn't great for this, you can kind of have them maybe pick a news website or something. There's a couple of different ways you can go about this. Now, in the original version, you would set this up on the fly and it would be a quick reading, a quick divination that you do on the spectator. So they'll navigate on their phone to this website. It's really important that you instill in them that this website, they can scroll and they can stop anywhere. So you're going to show them, you're going to say, look, there's all these different, articles, all these different sites. I'm just on like NBC News, right? And you can say, look, wherever you go, you can scroll up, you can scroll down. You'll end up at a different spot anytime you scroll. Now, as you're doing this, you're just going through and clocking a clear, distinct heading or sentence or somewhere where you can clearly stop them and place that at the top of the page. So in this case, I'm going to keep scrolling and I see this big bold heading that says responsible play at the Zodiac Casino. So I like that. It's big and bold, and I can get it to fit right at the top of the screen, so it's the first text there. So that is gonna be my force point. I swipe through and I say, look, here, you even give it a scroll, and look, you can see you end up somewhere random each time you do it. Now, I casually turn the phone slightly towards me, or you can even leave it so it's sort of like this, right? If you were the spectator, because they won't really notice if you do it quickly. But you're just gonna keep it around this Zodiac. So you might have them do a little scroll, but then you know it's a few scrolls away. Now, when I find that, I'm gonna set that at the top of the screen, and then I'm gonna casually hold the phone towards me. I'm gonna take the phone and turn it face down. As I do that, I'm gonna tap the lock button. So it is important that you're familiar with the type of phone they have. I personally would try to only do this on iPhones because I'm comfortable with where the lock buttons are and that sort of thing. If you're an Android user, same method, but you just kind of have to, go about it that way. As you go down, you're secretly gonna click the lock button and lock the phone. Now you're gonna tell them, all right, just scroll back and forth, and I want you to stop whenever you want. And remember, this is their phone. So they can scroll, and then eventually, when they're happy, when they've stopped, you're gonna say, okay, now I'll lock your phone and I'll hand it to you. So I actually just click the lock button again, which doesn't do anything. And then I hand them the phone instantly. So think about how clean that is. They scroll to a random point, you lock the phone and hand it to them. But the secret is, they didn't do any scrolling because the phone was locked. And now when they open up the phone, wherever you put will be right at the top of the screen. So you can force literally anything. So in this case, I would say, is there some like sentence right at the top of the screen? And then they'd say yes. And I'd say, can you just think of the first word in that sentence for me? Or you could just say, can you think of the first word that you see at the top of the page? Or something like that, right? There's plenty of options. And that's where you can really get creative with this effect. Now, once I've forced that particular word, then I would go into a reading. And guys, I've done a lot about how to do readings and how to do reveals. I've recently talked about 10 unique ways to reveal information in mentalism. So you can get over 10 different ways to now reveal this piece of information. At this point, we have a very cleanly obtained piece of information. And the key to making this effect incredible is how we're gonna reveal it. And when you're doing it on the fly like this, you'll just pick a word and you'll reveal it. You'll pretend to do a reading. You might grab their hands, you'll say, look into my eyes, and just start thinking about that first letter. Let's focus in on that first letter. Now I'm gonna go through the alphabet, and you can go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is one of my favorite ways to do it. And then their letter would be R, because they'd be thinking of responsibility in this case, right? I'd keep going, and then I'd go L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, hold on. M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, R, S, T, R. And I pretend like I'm honing in on it. And I say, keep repeating it. It's an R. First letter is an R. And now start to do some reading. Really like stretch this out, right? Stretch out this moment. That's what's gonna make it feel real. I've talked about your process in my Mentalism 101 series. I have an entire series all on mentalism, how to start from zero to hero in mentalism. It's called Mentalism 101. I would highly recommend you go check out that series. You can learn about building your character and really enhancing these reveals and tons of different methods for mentalism along the way. But it's key that you draw out this reveal, you pull that emotion from them, get them to connect and really feel like you're reading something. Have a process. Don't just say, they look at the word and you say responsibility. No, that's gonna fall flat. You need to make it feel like something is happening. Look into their eyes, grab their hands, use some of these fun little going through the alphabet techniques. If it's an object, you can say, well, think about where you might see this object, what you might do with it, that sort of thing. If it's a person, say, imagine going and meeting this person, imagine shaking their hand, right? Stuff like that. So that is the first method where you can do it on any site, you do it on the fly on the spectator's phone. There are plenty of ways you can take this. Don't just stick with the first word at the top of the screen. Let's look at this sentence again. Responsible play at Zodiac Casino. There's a ton of different ways I can get them to focus in on any of the words in this sentence. I could say, think of the longest word in that first sentence. I could even look at the entire paragraph below it, and I could just look in there and try to single out some words. So I could say, think of the longest word, which in this case is the word responsible. So they could look through this whole paragraph and feel like they're freely choosing a word, but I will know exactly which one it is. There's the word in the paragraph. It says, always remember that gaming is intended for leisure only. Have fun, time limit, max spend, take breaks, be responsible. And then the title is Responsible Play at Zodiac Casino. So immediately the word Zodiac comes out. I could say, think of a word that starts with the letter Z. Think of a word that has something to do with space, right? Zodiac, star signs, they have to do with space. If there's an animal, you could say, think of an animal. You could say, think of a person's name that you see in that paragraph. You could say, think of a noun, think of an adjective. in that sentence, right? So if we're just using the sentence again, is there like the first sentence? Can you just like read in your mind the first sentence that you see? So now they'll think responsible play at Zodiac Casino. And I'll say, can you think of a noun in that sentence? The noun is casino. So they'll now be thinking of casino. I could say, think of the last word, think of the middle word, right? There are so many options. Not only that, I can force an image. I can force this guy with a drill. I can say, is there any images on your page, right? And instead of just going with the top image, right? If I have these two images, so Canadian flag and this guy on a roof, I could say, do you see a few images on the screen? They'll say, yeah. And you say, can you think of one with the color red in it? Does any of them have red? I feel like you have a connection to red. Now I know they're thinking of the Canadian flag, right? There is so many unique ways that you can enhance this from just look at the first word that you see, like a lot of book tests end up being, right? By using the longest word, you could use a number. You can get really creative with this. There's a ton of different options. You can talk about if a word has a double letter. You can say, look for a word. Do any of them have a double letter? So like 2 letters back to back. And all of this you can still do on the fly by just scanning the sentence, and you'll quickly pick up on a distinction between the word. So any unique characteristics that you can find to force that word anywhere in a sentence or paragraph enhances this effect tenfold. Now I want to talk about a completely other idea that you can do with this, which is to do a little bit more work before you go into this. If you think about this, because it's a force, we could actually predetermine the information we force. So we could find a website, whether that's our own Instagram page that we have this set up on. It could be any website. Let's say we have a very specific word we need to force for some routine that we want to do. Find a website with that word on it. Create a website with that word on it. We can make Instagram posts with that word on it, and then we can use our own Instagram. So then we can have them navigate on their own phone to our Instagram, to whatever website we want, right? The idea of the free choice of the website on their end is great, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't enhance the effect that much. So you could really just direct them to a website. Say, so I want to try something here. Can you go to NBC News for me? It's like this news site. You know, it's good. It has a lot of different articles, a lot of different information. And maybe I've already went to NBC News that day and I've picked out a specific word or a specific image or article I want to force for whatever reason. Maybe it's the routine or anything like that. So instead of doing it as an on-the-fly divination, we'll do it as a pre-set up prediction. And this is very different because now that we know the outcome, we can do a prediction. And this prediction can not just be revealed on the fly, it can be revealed in a ton of different ways. You can have an envelope that you sent them a month beforehand that they could open up and it has that word in it. You could have the word tattooed on you even if you wanted, right? You could have it simply on a billet that you hand them before the routine starts that they're holding on to. So many strong ways to enhance this effect when you flip it on its head and make it a prediction instead of a divination. You could reveal it using Mark Kirstein's new app Subliminal, which is absolutely incredible, that uses AI to hide words in images. You can reveal it using Stigmata, which is one of my absolute favorite ways to reveal in mentalism. And there's tons of other ideas. If you'd like 10 unique ways to reveal mentalism, I've done a full video on 10 different unique ways to reveal things, including even more killer methods than the ones that I've mentioned. I'd also like to shout out another app by Mark Kirstein called Inertia that allows you to do this same type of force. It is using an app, but it's like a full browser, so you could still go to any website, but it would have to be on your phone. But it allows you to do this force facing them, so they can literally look at the phone while they scroll, and it uses the inertia of the page. It is absolutely fantastic, and I use that a lot as well. Now, if you'd like to take this effect to the absolute next level and have your spectator be able to call a random stranger and have them reveal the word that your spectator is merely thinking of, go check out this video and you can learn this incredible principle and take this effect to a whole new stratosphere. Alright guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Drop me a like, drop me a comment if you enjoyed it. Bringing a lot more mentalism tutorials to the channel. If you'd like to learn some even more incredible mentalism, you can go check out my mentalism membership. I'm teaching tons of banger tricks like this every month, and it is the best place to learn mentalism on YouTube. You can also check out my Mentalism 101 series here on the channel, which talks a lot more about the theoretical side of mentalism. And if you'd like some personal help one-on-one from me, the best place of all to learn magic, you can check out a private lesson at the link in the description. But with all that said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.